everyone. This is Loretta Sernowski with Remax Legacy. Welcome to another episode of Living in Rocky Point. Today we have a very special guest, which probably a lot of you have run into if you spend any time down here. We'd like to welcome Tony Lake to the show. Hello, Tony. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me, Loretta.
So we were just talking before the show. Tony's got his plate very full. So we're going to talk one facet at a time. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Tony Lake. I've been here now for 4 years. We moved here 4 years ago, my husband and I, from Farmington, New Mexico.
Okay.
And we choose to come down here. My in-laws, his parents retired here 30 some years ago. And so his mother-in-law is, I keep saying his. My mother-in-law lives here, and she is now a widow. And so as she was just getting older, and we always knew we were going to retire here, it was just time to be closer to family.
Sure, of course.
So we decided to come down here.
And were you guys working in New Mexico? What was your careers there?
Kelly, my husband, he has a background in restaurants and breweries.
Okay.
And then my background, I opened and ran bars and restaurants for others for a living. And I helped them get them open. And, I can write P&L, I can write policy and procedure. I teach mixology, liquor history. I teach cooks how to cook. And almost any facet of a restaurant and bar I can do and or teach other people how to do. Okay. And then I've also been an event planner, an MC, a DJ, any kind of facet that comes along with those kind of venues.
You are a very well-rounded individual. So let's talk about each one of your businesses at a time. So let's talk about Lagos Entertainment. Let us know what that is. A lot of people are not familiar with the name, perhaps, or maybe they are, and where you're involved all over town and what you do.
Right. So it started out as just like a side gig, and yet, still trying to make some money. We had moved here in our first year, and we were just like anyone else had fallen into. We live in Rocky Point, so spent the first few months just drinking and partying, and because you get stuck in that atmosphere like you're still on vacation. Yeah. And then after 8 or 9 months, it was like, okay, we need to get a balance of a lifestyle here, and
for your liver.
Well, yes, and just for well-being in general.
Sure.
And so a friend of mine, Marty over at Pink Cadillac, was like, hey, I want to start some karaoke here. So he's all, do you think you could host karaoke? And I was like, absolutely, I've done it before. So we started it that way. And then another bar asked me to do karaoke. And then the bar was at Bottoms Up, actually. And then Bottoms Up was like, hey, do you think you could write a trivia game and host pub trivia? And I was like, sure, I can. And then that turned into trivia a couple times a week. And then other games started arising. We were trying to find other things to do here in town that weren't being offered. So I did the Singo, which is the music style bingo, and then karaoke. And then my Lyrical Pursuit came around. And so at the time that I was doing all these on the side, I was still bartending and working in other bars. Because, I bartended at Scully's, I bartended at Shark Bite, I bartended at Tequila Bar for a while. And it came to the point that it was unfair to those businesses that I kept on asking for time off to do my other things, and unfair to my coworkers at those businesses who also needed to work. Sure. So I finally, at the time I was at Tequila Bar, and I went and talked to them, and I was just like, it's just going to be easier. It's going to be better for me and for you, because then I keep on asking for time off. Yeah. And they were like, they understood, and they were totally cool, and they were amazing. I loved working for them, and we had a great time there. And so they totally appreciated that, because, and it also opened the door for workers who were looking to move up and stuff at Tequila Bar as well. So then from there, I decided to launch Lagos Entertainment. And so I was like, let's make this an actual thing. So I started offering bar events, more than just the couple that I was doing, and just all over the town. And then that turned into also officiating weddings, and I DJ receptions, and I host events for the city. And I've done a lot of different things now. So it's just a matter of, I MC, DJ, and I can help event plan. Like, I don't have nearly the connections here in town yet that the event planners do. So I just, they call me if they need help. I don't want to step on any of the event planners' toes, because I'm not an event planner by any means.
Is that sort of in your projection of what you want to do, or?
That could be something that works out to it in the long run. In the future, I have event planned many charity events and other events up in the United States. So, but right now it's fun just being the the DJ, being the officiant, being the MC, having some fun. And I've cultivated some really good relationships with event planners and wedding planners and things like that. And so they do call me when they need things. And then I've also been added to the list at the convention center here in Puerto Peñasco as an MC. So if people want to call me for that, I hosted my first event this year, all in Spanish. And it was at the Salud Fest. And so they were hoping to get a little bit of a mixture of American people and Mexican people. And it turned out that day was only Mexican people. And so I really had to hope my Spanish came through. And, the crowd was so awesome with it. And they were wonderful. So I'm just kind of branching out and doing what I can with that.
Yeah, I remember last year I went to, it was sort of like a musical at the convention center. And one of my Mexican friends invited me. So otherwise I wouldn't have known about it. So I feel like there's a piece missing there to get it out to the public, and I'm not sure how, but.
Well, and I do find that in Peñasco itself, it's just, we're trying to figure out, through things like, like your podcast and live stream that you're doing. And then there are others in town that I know of, and I know that they're trying to blend and let everyone know. It's just a matter of, everyone really, really passing on the knowledge to everyone, not just Americans or not just Mexicans, doing all of it together, passing it on to every set of friend that
For sure, because people, we're a smaller city, but I have had this question from people on comment of, what is there to do there besides walk on the beach, or like if I retire there, move there, is there anything to do? And I live in a building where everyone's retired. And we have a WhatsApp group, and they're doing something every single day. Like, and a lot of it is your things that they go to, like they will not miss bingo. And which is great because like you said, you don't want to just sit at the bar and drink, for sure. And
of course,
to go out and converse with everyone. And like you said, keep your mind sharp and stuff like that. So kudos to you, because you're providing people with some fun things to do.
That's cool. Thank you.
So let's talk about the different things that you do.
Okay.
So the trivia, which I love, even though we came in last.
Well, the trivia games that I write, because I actually physically research and write every single game. So, right. So when I decide, because how I do 6 rounds of my trivia, and I do it twice a week, once at Bottoms Up and once at Banditos.
Uh-huh.
And
are those the same?
What's that?
Are those questions the same?
No, I write different games for each bar.
Dude,
that way,
I thought I found a way to be a winner. What are Banditos? I know the answers.
Yeah, no, I write different questions for each bar, because I have had people from Bottoms Up go across to Sandy Beach, and I've had Sandy Beach come on over to the Mirador and do it at Bottoms Up as well. But I do the trivia, and I research all those questions myself, and then I just have a little bit of fun with it. I do 6 rounds of 8 questions each, and different category for each round. So literally, I just write down themes while I'm having my morning tea and be like, okay, what do we want to learn about today? Because it's really, a lot of it's a learning experience for me as well.
Sure.
And then I write out those games. And so I do that twice a week. I host karaoke.
So let's just go back so that people can write this down or whatever, make a note of where the trivia is and what times.
Okay. On Mondays at Banditos, I do it at 4 p.m.
Okay.
And then Wednesdays at Bottoms Up Yacht Club, I do it at 5 p.m.
Okay. And it lasts 2 hours. Is that correct?
Roughly 2 hours. All depending on, when we get to some days where it's 17, 18 teams, which I have had, then it takes a little bit longer because I have to, score all the sheets and things like that. And as it gets busier, I do have some people and friends who've come over and helped me score answers while I can keep the game working. So.
Sure. I have to say that, there's lots of bars in the States have trivia, and they have whatever those ones that are on the TV screens kind of thing. Yeah. And this is just so much more fun. It's so much more interactive. And like last night, you made it local with the street names in Peñasco, and it's 10 times better than any trivia that I've been to. So good for you.
Thank you. And I enjoy that too, because don't get me wrong, I like trivia in itself. But if I'm sitting at a bar by myself, sure, I can do those games up on the screens and have some fun. But I like the interactive part of it all.
Yeah, and it's I know lots of people, at least that go to Bottoms Up, it's their weekly thing that they get together with their team. And it's like a fun community thing for them to do too. Okay, what's our next game that you have?
Well, I host karaoke at 2 bars. That's 3 times a week total. I've hosted more in the past, but right now we're just at 2 bars. So I do it twice a week at Bottoms Up, Thursdays and Sunday nights at 7 p.m. And then on Saturday nights, I also do it at Pink Cadillac at 7 p.m.
Okay. So what? I haven't been to either one of those, but what exactly is involved for people to karaoke? Do you have a machine? Do you have a?
So I know I use 2 different programs. I mean, I use the program Carafun, of course, and Carafun has, 10,000-20,000 songs in it. I mean, there's literally everything, and it's all done online. And so people just really have to know their song, and I have to research it. And sometimes if Carafun doesn't have a song they're looking for, I can always found it also on YouTube, because YouTube has a lot of karaoke versions you can do as well. And we just try to keep the shows upbeat and fun. Like, I keep on telling people, because there are some great singers and there are some people who don't sing particularly as well, but they like being up there and having fun. And that's what the whole crowd is about. Is just, let's have a good time. None of us are trying out for a record contract today. We're just there to have some fun, sing some songs, make some people have a good time,
Yeah. What's that show with the one in the States, when the people come on in the States? What is it called?
Oh, like American Idol, or like
American Idol, we can have Puerto Peñasco Idol.
Which, at Pink Cadillac, once a quarter, I do host a contest there. I do host a karaoke contest, yeah. And Lagos Entertainment and Pink Cadillac put up the prize, and the prize is usually around 4,000 pesos we give to the singer, and I get other local community members to be judges, so the judges are different each time. So, and then that makes it fun, and I let people pick their own songs. And then usually I'll do something like I might use a roulette wheel and let the roulette wheel spin, and they have to sing that song. This last one, I had my AI. I had ChatGPT pick their song, so they're for their final song. So that was fun. So it just didn't matter. And I tell them, I was like, none of us, like I said, no one's judging you. We're having a good time. So just have some fun.
That one you might have to drink while you're at least for some people that sing, I know.
Right.
And do you have your own equipment for that, or is it provided by the bar?
I do have my own equipment, but every bar that I'm at has their own sound system. And so it's just easy just to patch into their sound system. It's my account. I pay for the service. So I just sign in with my service. That way the bars aren't having to pay for a service on top of paying me for hosting.
And that's Carafun?
Yeah. I use the Carafun, and people use it at home, because there's a personal use one and then there's a commercial use license. Okay. So, but there's, and it's just a lot of fun, just having a good time. And that one is more of just people getting together. We don't have to write a game. All you got to do is come up and sing a song, have some drinks with your friends, cheer on other people, and that's fun.
Okay. What's the next game?
And then I also offer Singo 3 times a week. And Singo is music bingo. So it's very, very similar to the game bingo, but instead of me calling out numbers, I have a theme that I pick and make a playlist for each week. And so I write out a theme. I pick all 75 songs in the playlist, and then I use a program that randomizes the songs to make essentially bingo cards with the names of songs on them. So as the song is playing, if the title corresponds on your card, then you mark it. And just like bingo, when you get the patterns that I'm asking for, you shout out. And those games are buy-in games. So people buy into those. Okay. And then, but neither of the bars that I hosted in or myself keep any of that money. That money that they buy in with just becomes the pot that's spread out to the 3 games.
Okay.
And, I've had as big as $500, $600 singos, because we've had such large crowds playing that. So that's a lot of fun. And I do that twice a week at Pink Cadillac, Mondays at 1 and Fridays at 4:30. And Friday's actually my biggest crowd. I can get anywhere from 40 to 70 people in that bar.
Wow. I know my whole building goes.
Yeah. And then on Thursdays, like today, I also do it at Banditos at 4 p.m.
Okay. So, yeah. Interesting. And that's a lot of money if you win $500 here.
Oh yeah, but I mean, even if there's only 25 people playing, the blackouts are still over $100. I mean, you spent $8 to possibly win anywhere from $25 to $100. That's still pretty good.
So, and forgive me if this is a stupid question, but is Singo like your creation, or is this a?
It's not originally my creation. There was a program that I did use when I first started here, subscribing to the program, and they were doing everything. And it came down after a while that like they were never updating their music selection. And so if I had chosen the 70s, for example, we had gone through all of their 70s playlists. And so I was just playing the same songs. And then I've been a DJ off and on for years. And I was like, I can do this. And ultimately also too, why am I having a venue pay for a service when they can pay me for the service?
Yeah.
So it helped me as well as my company, and it's enjoyable for me because I've been a DJ off and on since I was 17 years old.
Right.
So I started picking the themes and writing the playlists and having fun with that. And so now it's all done through me. And I pick a different theme each week. Like during spring break, I've had themes called Between the Sheets, because it's spring break, we're partying. Every song's about that. I've had songs about drinking. I've sometimes been like, we're doing party country today. Today's classic rock. Today, every song has a name in the title, and I always, just kind of pick it. And I try to mix everything up from the 60s to today. That way it's a good mixture for everybody.
Sure.
Because if it's all oldies, then we don't attract anyone new. And if it's all brand new, I don't want the older people to be like, I've never heard this music. So it's a good mixture for everybody. Because I really want people to have a good time with that. So, like today I have it at Banditos at 4:00. And today's theme, I chose it because the Lady Gaga Bruno Mars song Die With a Smile was just named the #1 song by Billboard of 2025. Mm-hmm. So I went back and researched the past 75 years, the #1 song of each year, according to Billboard. So today's theme, you're going to hear from 1950, the #1 songs, all the way to 2025.
And that's at Banditos at
4:00 today. So
we have a question. How much is the buy-in for Singo?
The original buy-in is $7 per person, and that gets you your original sheet. And then extra sheets after that are $1.
Okay. And how long is that game?
It's about 2 hours to 2.5 hours.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next game.
And then the final game that I'm doing right now, because I do have some things working in the mix, but well, I guess it's not the final. There's 2 games. So at Salt and Lime Restaurant, I offer what's called Lyrical Pursuit. And that's on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. And that is my version of Name That Tune.
Okay.
So that's a team game where I, like last week's theme was rock and roll of the 20th century. So we did everything from the 50s to the 90s. And so one round might be, I'm going to give you just 10 seconds of the intro. One round, I might play you a remake and tell me the original artist. One round, I might play you just a little bit of the song and you tell me the next lyric. So it's just little games that we do, and it's 4 rounds, and that's a no buy-in game just to have a little fun, listen to some fun music, and each week I pick a different theme with that. Like I said, we just did rock and roll. Next week we're doing 80s R&B. So
and that's on
Tuesdays at 4
at Salt and Lime.
Yes, and so I only do that once a week right now at Salt and Lime, and then my final game is I just started offering also at Salt and Lime Wednesdays at 2 Loteria. So I'm doing Loteria, which is traditional Mexican style bingo. So it's not really bingo, but it's the same kind of concept, Okay. So, and that's just a fun game. So we've only done it for 1 week right now, and it's just began. And right now, just teaching visitors how to play it. Okay. My family, my mother's family is from Chihuahua. I'm half Mexican, so I've played the game numerous times throughout my life, and so. It's a fun game. It's more fast-paced, and everything's in Spanish. But, we still make sure we say it in English so the visitors can also understand. It's all based on pictures rather than numbers. And I play it so old school down to where I put plates of just dry pinto beans, and you still put the beans on your cards to find it. So it's a lot of fun.
And one thing I forgot to ask you about the games is how many people or teams are per game?
Okay, so the only two games that manage on that one would be Trivia and Lyrical Pursuit, and so both of those games are team games, and I allow up to 6. I allow up to 6 per team. Of course, every now and then you get someone like, my brother's visiting. Okay, cool. For 1 week, you can have an extra, as long as it's not every single week. I don't want anyone to feel they have to go away. And so I'm just like, no, we can all play. And sometimes when we get too many people, I'm like, you guys are going to have to break up to 2 teams. Let's have a little bit more fun and make it more competitive. So,
of course.
Yeah.
So before we move on to your latest adventure, I do have a bone to pick with you.
What's that?
You never have any Canadian questions, and I hope you have some Canadian for your lyric stuff.
So what's funny is you probably just haven't been there. I've done quite a few rounds about Mexico history, Canadian history. I've done Canadian provinces. I've done capital cities.
Really?
Yes, and I've mixed it up quite a bit. I've even done things
when you're having your tea and make one just say, "Hey Loretta, by the way, I'm
right.
having this category. You better be there tomorrow."
Yeah. But yeah, I know I have had some fun, and I try to make sure people know. I've done Canadian. I mean, I've done something as simple as be like, I'm going to give you one of the names of the provinces in Canada. Can you tell me the capital city? Just things like that, even to see what they know. And I've done the same thing with states of Mexico to see if they knew the capital city here as well. So
yeah, like last night when you did the streets of Peñasco was actually very good because I knew a lot of them because I'm a realtor.
Right. But a lot of people I made that joke with the team sitting next to you with the thrushes. And I was like, most people are like, go down the road till you see that blue building and next to the OXXO and take a right.
I was going to say, don't say next to the OXXO.
I know, yeah, but you know what I mean, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for hosting those games. I have to tell you, you are one of the lights of Peñasco.
Oh, thank you. I've also taken the company, and now I'm DJing wedding receptions, and I officiate weddings now for people when they come down. I'm ordained in the United States. And so when they want things to be done here, I can do their ceremonies here. I'm legal to sign all their certificates and all that kind of stuff. So I also do that as well.
Unbelievable. Now you and Kelly did something this year what I was so happy for you guys, and I know it's going to be do really well, and I'm sure it already is. But tell me about Salt and Lime, how that all happened. What made you do that?
Well, Salt and Lime Restaurant opened up. We assumed control of the restaurant previously known as Latitude 31 September 1st. So previous to that, the owners of Latitude, Cindy Hall and Mike Riggs, they had approached us and said, we're thinking after 30 years, maybe it's time to step away. And would you guys be interested in doing this because of our experience and our background? And so we had to sit there and have a little talk with, Kelly and myself to decide, is this something we want to jump back into? It's been a long time since we've physically been running restaurants or bars or anything. So after a couple meetings with them and negotiating terms and all that, we came to a really good agreement. And Kelly was like, I think we should do it. And so we discussed some pros and cons, and ultimately it just fell in line and looked like something we wanted to do. So September 1st, we took it over. We ran it as Latitude just for about the first month while I revamped menus and while we revamped some other things and, whatnot. And then we rolled out the new menu. The new signs just got changed on the building. Now we have one more sign to change. I have new drink menus coming, but it's been working as Salt and Lime now, and we absolutely love it. It's been a great time.
Now, is Kelly still doing his canned goods and jams and stuff like that?
Well, not with the beginning of the restaurant. We knew for the first few months he wouldn't be able to. Ultimately, our goal is for his best sellers, like, his jams, his salsas and whatnot, he can eventually get to a point with our scheduling and everything where he can maybe make a small rack in the restaurant.
That's a great idea.
People can come up and buy, and we can incorporate his food into our food, his canned stuff, offer that salsa maybe, or things like that. Cause he has some great big sellers. We already incorporate 2 of his items, his cowboy candy, which is the sweet pickled jalapenos. We incorporate that on our chicken sandwich. And then, his triple berry jam, which is a mixture of blackberries, raspberries, and strawberries. That's actually one of the components of our stuffed French toast.
Ooh, that his candied jalapenos. Isn't that in one of your featured burgers? I thought.
That was on one of our featured burgers that we did. We did a burger that had that with a sous vide pork belly.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a lot of stuff with that. So yeah, it's a very, very popular item, and it's well known in certain parts of the United States. It's a popular condiment. Mm-hmm. And when we started selling it down here, it just took off and people loved it. And so we wanted to incorporate that still up at the restaurant. And so we just started throwing it into some food items, and we're still playing with it. We have some new stuff coming with a updated fresh menu for 2026.
So what times are you guys open and what days of the week?
Well, we're open 7 days a week.
Okay.
Tuesday and Wednesday, we open at noon. And then the rest of the week, we open at 9 a.m.
Okay. So you have breakfast those other days?
We have breakfast every single day of the week. And what makes us a little different from other places, we will serve breakfast until 9 p.m. So if people want to come in and have breakfast for dinner, we will make it. So breakfast is available all day long. And in turn, if you came in at 9 a.m. and wanted enchiladas or you wanted a burger, we'll make you that at 9 a.m. as well. So all of our menus.
What are your three favorite breakfast item, favorite lunch, favorite dinner?
Ooh, for breakfast, I'd have to say, that's a hard one. I mean, I have some very, very talented cooks back there who are using some very authentic recipes. And I have to say my favorite breakfast item, gosh, I'd probably say, because I'm such an egg man and such an omelet guy, I love my bacon and jalapeno omelet. And I like it smothered in our enchilada sauce that they make. So I smother it in enchilada sauce with the breakfast potatoes and frijoles.
And lunch?
Lunch. I think that our fish and chips is absolutely amazing, or our burgers. It'd be a tie for both of those. I think we serve one of the best burgers in town, even down to a classic burger or the fish and chips.
Yeah, I've had your burger, that one. I can't remember what it was called, but it was amazing. And what about for dinner?
For dinner, my favorite item we make, it'd probably be a tie between two as well. We do a pasta verde, which is a traditional Mexican green spaghetti made in a beautiful poblano cream sauce, and we top it with a breaded chicken breast or a grilled chicken breast if you'd like. And then the other item would be what we call pescado empapelado, which is a piece of fresh white fish. We typically use lenguado, flounder, and it's a mixture of tomatoes and peppers and onions and herbs and butter and wrapped in a foil packet and poached on the grill in those. And it's just, you open up the packet and have this beautiful fish, and we serve it with vegetables and rice, and it's wonderful.
And do you have any signature cocktails?
Actually, it's funny. That's funny that you say that, because our new drink menu is finally coming out. It's taken us a long time. We wanted to drop it when we took over the things, but some of the recipes weren't coming together quite, so we had to tweak with them. So I'm actually going to print with that tomorrow, and Monday next week it will drop. So we have some fun things going on. Down to our salt and lime margarita is going to be served a little differently. We don't actually salt the rim of that. We actually created a salt and lime flavored foam that will sit on top of the margarita itself. And you'll see us shaking up whipped cream canisters and topping it with that. And when people come in for lunch or dinner, do they get chips and salsa? Do they get anything like that? No, everything is pay as you order. As you order.
What about, do you have a wine list?
Right now we don't have a lot of wine customers. So we just keep one or two. I keep a Sauvignon Blanc and a Chardonnay, and then we keep Cabernet and a Merlot. So
I will also text you when I'm coming for dinner.
Oh, hell yeah. So yeah, let me know, because as we get more and more people who ask for those things, none of our menu is set in stone. There's always something, and we want to make sure that we're adjusting to the clientele that we have and making sure that they want to come back as well. I think any business wants their clients to become frequent visitors. So what do you got to do to make sure that they become frequent visitors? Yeah,
and Mexico actually has some really great wines. If you go to
Guadalupe, they very much do.
My crew is wine drinkers, so we appreciate our wine for sure.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So what, all of these things that you do, and you have dogs.
I do.
Are you helping at the restaurant, or are you just doing your thing and Kelly does the restaurant, or how does that work?
Well, it's a little bit of both. So Lagos Entertainment is pretty much solely me. It always was from the get-go. Kelly's there to help with anything that I need,
Right.
And with Lagos Entertainment, on top of it, I also do that Mermaid Market bar twice a month. And so that's part of Lagos Entertainment. And so he helps with that anytime that I need him, and he helps with anything. When it comes to the restaurant, he kind of spearheads the daily operations of that. And so he's there most of the time. I am there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings. That way he has some time to be at home as well and relax. And then I also do all the back end. I do all the menu design. I do all the paperwork. I do everything with the city and the accountants and the taxes.
Uh-huh.
Everything is under my name since I speak more Spanish. So that way, if I have to go sit and visit with people in the city, or with, when the alcohol people come through or the health license people come through, I can sit and visit with them and be like, here's all my licenses. Here's all of our stuff. So it makes it easier. So we have everything put under my name, and I do all the administration, I guess.
And is he cooking as well?
He has cooked quite a few things that we have coming. So, in fact, it's soup season. I know that it seems weird because it's still so warm where we live, but it's soup season. And so he made this beautiful broccoli cheddar soup the other day.
Wow.
I know today we're working on some albondigas. And then with our new menu starting in 2026, we actually acquired some exclusive rights to a spice blend from spices and peppers from New Mexico. So we acquired the rights to the city of Puerto Peñasco. They won't sell to any other business here but us. And so we'll be offering real New Mexico green chili stew.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
So there's lots of people from New Mexico here.
Oh, yeah. We're very excited. That's going to be starting here just right after Christmas.
Oh, that's
and
great.
we were very, very just fortunate to find this company that they were friends of ours. And they're like, we do this. And we were like, what? And so they had us taste it. We're like, yes, this is something we want to do. And we want to just be, bring in something just a little fresher and different. And that was the whole point of the restaurant. How can we keep things still with those great flavors that people like, but then just give it a breath of fresh air and add something new? So.
And speaking of holidays, what days are you going to be open?
Well, we close on the actual federal holidays of Mexico. So we'll be closed on Christmas Day.
You're open on Christmas Eve?
Yes, we will be open on Christmas Eve.
And do you have a special menu for that day?
Christmas Eve, we're working on a nice steak dinner. We're looking on something. I want to do something a little more authentic Mexicans. I think we're going to offer a tompequeña or something like that, which is a Mexican style steak, and you serve with enchilada and rice and guacamole. It's very wonderful. And then New Year's Day, we will be closed, but we're working on a New Year's Eve dinner right now. Mm-hmm. And right now, what we're trying to do to get it all together, because I want to start offering it for reservation only next week. We want to do Louisiana style shrimp boil.
Wow, that sounds great.
So we were on to put the parchment paper all over the tables, and you're just going to get a bowl dumped on your table, and you eat it with your hands, the sausage and the shrimp and the corn and potatoes, just like you would at a Cajun boil. So we're looking at that right now. And so you'll be looking for that. That should probably hit online Monday as well.
Do I have to stay up till midnight?
No. So our restaurant typically closes around 9, and that's when the kitchen closes. And of course, if we have people who are still sitting around having cocktails, we stay open until they're done. But typically our crowd tends to leave around 9, but if they want to stay, we're open for it.
Sure.
But we figured New Year's Eve, if we did a nice dinner and then be like, hey, now you can go party now go party.
Yeah.
Or for some of the early birds, we do have capabilities on the TV apps that we use. I mean, they can see a ball drop at 8 or 10 o'clock at night from, like New York City and things like, yeah. And so we can show that and be like, there you go. It's New Year's Eve. Because a lot of people they don't want to pull the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So it would be able to for them a little earlier as well.
I'm one of those people.
I like
it may sound, but I just like to be awake the next morning early.
Oh, I love it too. I mean, I like to go out as well. And then I like to day drink and be a day drinker as well.
There you go. Hey.
But
we're the same, you and I.
But New Year's Eve, I told Kelly, I was like, we might go out and say hi to some friends at some other bars for a couple of hours and then go home. since we have the day off the next day, it'll be so nice to actually be able just to sit at home.
What's been your, I have a lot of friends who own businesses that, they confide in me about challenges. What has you found been your biggest challenge with owning a business here?
Honestly, when it comes down to the challenge itself, I was very proud of ourselves for getting through all the learning the different Mexico laws for opening a business. I opened a business in the States, and in New Mexico State, I can walk through and be like, you need to go here, you need to go here, this is where you need to do this, and be done. But learning Mexico's ways, that was quite a learning experience for me. And then ultimately, like in the industry of hospitality itself, especially in the sub-industry of hospitality and like restaurants and bars, there is so many here. There's so many offerings and so many diverse offerings and different options for food and drink in Peñasco. Right. So really the biggest challenge is, how do you make yourself different? What can you offer that no one else offers? What can you offer that's fun? What can you offer that makes people want to come back? And then also too, I feel it's very important as a business owner here to make sure that you're supporting the other businesses as well.
Sure. Yep.
So, we try to make sure that when we're not at the restaurant, let's go stop here and say hi to this business that are, they've come in and support us. I want to support them as well. When we're going shopping, these people came in and had lunch. Let's go to their shop and go buy something from their shop today for Christmas presents or whatnot. Just wanting to make sure that we're giving back to the community any way that we can. If they're supporting us, we're supporting local business as well.
And when I first moved here, that was one thing I noticed right away, is that the business owners, the restaurant and bar owners, really support each other and go to other places. They're, not even competitors, but just the other place. And I think that's so great.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, no one wants to see no one wants to see anyone else's business fail. We all want everyone to do well with your life, And let's be honest, when you're in a small town like this with over 70 restaurants, no one is opening a restaurant to become a multimillionaire here. We're just trying to make sure we can make a little bit of money, pay our bills, and put some in savings, So, exactly. But all you hope is that your restaurant's doing well and that you can help your employees, because, all of our employees are locals here. I want to make sure that, we can make sure that they can provide for their families as well.
Exactly. So. Thank you so much for being on the show today. It was such a pleasure. I've learned lots about you and a lot about the games, and I'll see you at the next one. Everyone, once again, this is Loretta Sernowski from Remax Legacy. Next Thursday, we are going to do some barbershop talk with Alan Gonzalez, who owns the New Era Barbershop here.
That's my barber, so that's who I go to.